It was 6 years ago today that Albuquerque realized it had a serial killer. 11 women found buried on the West Mesa. But is APD any closer to figuring out who's behind the murders? News 13's Chris McKee asked police about that case today. He's live at the burial site. Chris?
Dean, APD still won't call the West Mesa murders a cold case, but they say they also won't name any suspects involved, and they actually have a bigger pool of people they're looking at than ever before.
6 years later, 11 families are still mourning their daughters, women mixed up in drugs and prostitution who were killed and buried here on the West Mesa. But in all these years,
we can't manufacture evidence. We can't make people talk to us.
Albuquerque police are still very short on answers in one of the largest unsolved serial killer cases in U.S. history.
We're doing everything we can.
Today, a website and tip line are still running.
It's not gone cold at all.
APD is also still offering a $100,000 reward, but by their own statements, APD may be far away from any kind of conclusion. In 2009, then Chief Ray Schultz said there were 5 suspects. Last year, Commander Anthony Montano told News 13 that there were about a dozen. Now today, APD says there are about 20 possible suspects.
Yeah, why that pool of people technically is getting a little bigger, I wouldn't say that we're going backwards by any means. I would say that it's actually opening up more possibilities to find who actually did this.
News 13 has reported the department has focused on just 2 people, Joseph Blea, an accused serial rapist who's behind bars awaiting trial, and Lorenzo Montoya, who was shot and killed by a pimp after strangling a prostitute. Still, APD won't confirm those 2 suspects. City Councilor Ken Sanchez used to represent the area where the bodies were found. Sanchez says he believes APD is still working the case hard.
I think this case is probably one of the most difficult cases, if not the most difficult cases that they've ever had to work on.
Now, we spoke to 5 different families here today, some of whom left balloons here at this site in commemoration of those victims here today. They claim they haven't heard any new updates from police. We asked police about that today. Some of those families haven't said they had contact with police in years. Police said today they are doing their best to keep in contact with all of the families involved in this. Back to you.
Hi, Chris. Thank you. We have extensive coverage of the West Mesa murders online at KRQE.com, including photos of the people involved and a timeline of that case.